diversity, where modernization and tradition goes hand in hand. Underlying this beautiful blend of old and new is the culture and heritage of the country. Behind the facade of a modern and developed nation is a deep cultural identity that can even be seen from her most magnificent structures. Over in the southeast, Malaysia too has seen rapid growth since her independence. The landscape of Kuala Lumpur today is a mosaic of skyscrapers and glass structures. But here, in the 21st century, the uprise of pop culture is slowly taking over. The traditions that have built nations corrode with time. The struggle of art keepers remains a silent journey. Today, we document the untold. Takuji Arai takes on the challenge to revive one of the oldest cultural heritages in the world, as never seen before. Even at the height of modernization, culture and tradition is still very much part of Japan. The view of the entire city can be seen from the Tokyo Skytree, currently the tallest tower in the world, at 634 meters in height. The bluish-white paint that coats the tower is based on the traditional Japanese color, Aijiro. However, the deeply rooted Japanese culture is slowly giving way to modernity.
Gagaku? あるようなないような。Gagaku? わかんない。
授業で多分聞いたと思います。聞いたこともう多分聞いたと思う。
前は聞いたことない。詳しくは音楽自体は聞いたことない。
まあことはやらせてもらいましたね。
あります。なんかないです。もう YouTube でこういうものなんで、歌舞伎とかをちょっと調べてた時期があって、それのなんかつながりで科学もあったので。
Japan is home to one of the oldest music traditions in the world, tracing a path back to the 5th century. Gagaku, a slow-tempo music ensemble, was once only played by Japan's noblemen, mainly in the Imperial Palace. Intrigued by the culture of the palaces, Arai's son discovered an age-old court tradition in Southeast Asia. Tarian Asyik is a court dance performed only for the royals in the palaces of Kelantan, a state up north of Kuala Lumpur. As the executive director of Japan-Malaysia Association, Arai's son has been able to broaden his love for culture. Arai's son founded a dance troupe known as Mekar Budaya that has been performing traditional Malay dances all over Japan since its inception. He now seeks to extend his love for culture one step closer to home. Arai's son is not alone on his quest to spread the love for culture. Taizo Nakata aims at preserving the Gagaku through a more contemporary rendition of the music ensemble.
やっぱ面白いとかかっこいいっていうものがあれば、ほっといてもみんな見てくれるわけですよね。やっぱりそっちの方向に演奏してる人間がちょっと柔軟になってやっていかないといけないなって思うんですよね。
Seeking inspiration, Arai's son makes a day trip to the historically rich Nikko. Nikko, located about 150 kilometers north of Tokyo, can be reached via bullet train in just 2 hours. Visitors to Nikko are greeted by the legendary Shinto Bridge perched over the Dayagawa or Daya River. Legend has it that the bridge was formed by 2 large snakes to assist Shodo Jonin, a monk that needed to cross over to build the first shrine building in Futarasan. Today, Nikko is home to 103 religious buildings and is recognized as a UNESCO World Heritage Site. Autumn Festival, or Shuki Taisai, at Toshogu Shrine in Nikko is celebrated on a grand scale. People gather in the divine memory of the great Tokugawa Ieyasu, the spirit of the great shogun. The festival showcases the samurai horseback archery, yabusame, and the traditional Gagaku or Imperial court music that accompanies the Bugaku dance. Having witnessed the Gagaku firsthand, Arai-san believes that Gagaku and Tarian Asyik share common roots.
Unsur-unsur serupa bersamaan dalam muzik Gagak dan muzik tarian istana di Semenanjung Malaysia.
Inspired by the culture back home and driven by his passion for traditional Malay dance, Arai-san makes his way to Kelantan. Kelantan, a 600-kilometer ride from Kuala Lumpur, is known as the cradle of Malay culture. Tourists are often enchanted by the charms of a people and their old traditions that are still practiced today. Among the most well-known cultural performances in Kelantan are the Dikir Barat, a native Malay musical form, and the Wayang Kulit, or shadow puppet. Upon arrival, Arai-san is introduced to Pak Din, a Tarian Asyik master who has inherited the legacy of the dance. Pak Din strongly believes that the Tarian Asyik must be passed on from a master to an apprentice. With the help of his friend Cikgu Awi, Arai-san hopes to create a fusion between the Gagaku and the Tarian Asyik.
Letak kita ni, lagu rhythm kita ni boleh main dengan alat dia. Nak transport ke alat dia, nak main ni payah. Nak main sana tapi nak modify supaya main lagu Tarian Asyik menggunakan alat dia. Lepas tu dia nari cara kita. Mana Tarian Asyik jepuh lah sekira model baru.
Over dinner, Arai-san introduces the Gagaku instruments to Cikgu Awi and Pak Din to get things started. Today, at Omuro Takao Shrine, a special festival is underway. Chief Priest Yasuhisa Kozuka is busy getting children ready for the Shichi Gosan, a rite of passage for children at the ages of 3, 5, and 7. The festival is celebrated with a special dance performance called the Miko Kagura, accompanied by the shrine's Gagaku ensemble. Not just a priest, Kozuka-san too is an expert hichiriki flute player. Today, Arai-san makes his way to the Omuro Takao Shrine in Nikko. He needs to convince Kozuka-san to participate in his mission.
雅楽に同期で詳しい方いらっしゃいますので、ぜひとも小塚さんにマレーシアに一緒に行っていただきたいなと思ってます。
ごめんください。失礼します。
はじめまして。
はい。
新井と申します。
おじかさんようこそいらっしゃいました。今日はお時間お知らせとかありがとうございます。
とんでもないです。よろしくお願いします。
どうぞお上がりください。
失礼します。
はい。どうぞ。
はい、失礼します。で、日本のですね、雅楽として、演奏者としてですね、小塚にもぜひご参加いただいて、で、両国のそういうもともと宮廷で行われてた伝統的な音楽と踊りっていうのを融合させてですね、一つの作品作りをしようっていうのが、今回のテーマになってまして、
お話しされたようにやっぱりその宮中とか、その神様とかそういったものを捧げるというような音楽であれば、日本の雅楽とかと同じ意味合いがあって共通点がありますね。
そう思います。
Arai-san introduces the musical ensemble of the Tarian Asyik and shows Kozuka-san the dance.
ドラムとしてはですね、じゃあちょっと座った状態からのものでいいですね。じゃあその状態。
The day begins as early as 7 a.m. at the Shinagawa train station in Tokyo. But here at the Kashiwa fish market, work begins at 5 a.m. Steeped in culture and tradition, fishmongering is a family trade that is passed down from generation to generation. The fishing industry in Japan accounts for 15% of all global catch. Today, Kozuka-san and Arai-san will make their way to Malaysia together. All checked in, Arai-san heads to Haneda Airport's duty-free to get some souvenirs for his Malaysian friends.
3日間でどれだけできるか頑張りたいと思います。もう非常に楽しみにしてます。
As they board the plane, Arai-san is hopeful that his mission will be a success. After the 7-hour flight from Tokyo, Arai-san and Kozuka-san must take a 1-hour connecting flight to Kelantan. Kelantan is famous for its local delicacies. Arai-san and Kozuka-san make their way to a local coffee shop to sample the nasi berlauk and roti titap. Next, the two head to the National Department for Culture and Arts in the city of Kota Baru, Kelantan. Cikgu Awi and the team of musicians look on as Kozuka-san prepares the show, the Gagaku instrument responsible for a drone-like sound.
吹き込むとこれがこういう風に入って音が鳴る。で、これは吸って吐いて吸って吐いてときますからね。
However, the more relevant instrument for the Tarian Asyik is the Hichiriki flute. Cikgu Awi has transcribed the Serunai solo of the Tarian Asyik music score. However, Kozuka-san is only trained to read the ancient Gakuhu, the music score for Gagaku. To get the notes of the Serunai into Gakuhu, Cikgu Awi must first teach Kozuka-san to hum the tune correctly.
Very good.
Humming to the tune is one thing, but Kozuka-san needs to also hear the actual Serunai solo to be able to write the Gakuhu notes for the Hichiriki flute. The Tarian Asyik is said to have found its roots in modern Thailand's southern province of Patani. It is believed to have first been performed in the courts of the Patani Queens. The dance, which is performed by 12 female court dancers, is characterized by its graceful and gentle choreography.
Tempat kita berdiri sekarang ini merupakan makam tiga beradik, yaitu puteri-puteri kepada Sultan Mansur Shah.
Since the demise of the Patani Queens, the legacy of the Tarian Asyik continues in the palaces of Kelantan. It's Arai-san's first training session with Pak Din. Pak Din emphasizes the need to capture the soul of the dance by empathizing to the music of Tarian Asyik.
Saya merasa nervous sedikit ya kerana Tarian Asyik diajar oleh Patin sangat berbeza dengan Tarian Asyik yang saya menari ajar dan menari dahulu.
Saya rasa dia dalam 60% dia free. Sebab mungkin sound yang tidak live, music yang tidak live, dia tak boleh nak. Dia kena membiasakan lagi music live tu dengan diri dia.
It's morning in the city Khadijah Market, named after the Prophet Muhammad's wife. The market features women merchants trading locally grown vegetables and other local goods. Back in the studio, Kozuka-san continues to work with Cikgu Awi in transposing the Tarian Asyik score into the Gakuhu. The task is daunting because of the limitation of the Hichiriki notes for the Serunai.
タリアンの鶴内のメロディーを七力で、チャレンジしてみました。雅楽と違って、音の速さであったりとか、またメロディーの移り変わりっていうのが七力ですとついていくのがなかなか大変だなという感じがします。
Back home, Arai-san teaches traditional Malay dance, including the Tarian Asyik, to university students.
Belajar. Kita akan belajar Tarian Asyik. 1, 2, 3, 4.
However, learning the dance from a master proves to be a new challenge, as Malay classical dance does not always have official training documentation from the past.
Yang ini Arai, kita guna semasa latihan basic.
In the old days, these dances were passed on from master to apprentice by means of observation and the student's dedication to learning the art. In a short time, Arai-san has been able to master the Tarian Asyik, but the dance demands more than just correct steps.
Dia peningkatan itu semakin maju. Cumanya tarian klasik ni dia perlu penelitian yang terlalu unik.
To help Arai-san on his journey, Pat Din invites the dancers from the National Department of Culture and Arts to assist. Arai-san will be given the opportunity to perform together with the dancers at an upcoming dance recital. Because of the many different versions of the Tarian Asyik movement, Arai-san must first show his dance moves to the group of dancers.
Kekok sikit lah sebab cara grup saya lain, grup dia lain. Jadi kena belajar lebih sikit lah dengan dia sebab bunga saya dengan bunga tarian dia tak sama.
Ya.
Having performed Tarian Asyik together with local dancers, Arai-san aspires to find the roots that bind the two cultures together.
日本の伝統音楽と言われているけれども、そこに至る、その日本の伝統だって言われる前にはそこまで来る経緯が当然あったわけで、そこを探る歴史的な検証とまでは言いませんけれども、そういうことでは僕は意味はあると思ってますし。
It is Kozuka-san's final night in Kotobaru. Tonight, for the first time, he will join the Tarian Asyik music team in accompanying Arai-san's dance practice.
I'm very excited. Ya, kerana malam ini menari dengan cikgu Pati dan pemain muzik ya daripada kumpulan cikgu Aswawi dan Mr. Kotsuka Shiriki ala music Jepun.
Kozuka-san leaves for Japan soon. Much is to be done for the Gagaku ensemble to be able to play the score of the Tarian Asyik in Japan. Today, Arai-san's costume will be tailored for him. Pat Din has requested for help from Professor Najib, a lecturer at the University of Malaysia, Kelantan. The professor is tasked to design a costume for a male Tarian Asyik dancer this time.
Dalam budaya Melayu Kelantan ini, yang sangat jelas dua yang penting iaitu Mak Yong and Asyik ada all female performer. Walaupun dekat sini dia dengan other people, but the costume is stand alone.
To inspire Professor Najib, Arai-san shares the story of his journey and of Kozuka-san, who plays for the Gagaku ensemble back home.
sediakan jadi 2 lah. Dan Doko ini dengan Hakama Pants. Ya, nanti yang sikit lah. Kalau sebelah luar ini ada setanjak nampak rambut tak.
Later in the evening, Arai-san joins Pak Din and his family for dinner. Pak Din is hopeful that Arai-san's costume will get made in time for the dance recital.
Ready air 1 gelas untuk Mr. Arai.
Back in Japan, Kozuka-san is meeting the Utsunomiya Gagaku Club. They are keen to join his mission to play the Malay Tarian Asyik with Gagaku music instruments.
マレーシア行ってきました。はい。で、宮廷音楽をぜひ雅楽で再現したいんで、みんなでチャレンジしてほしいと思うので、よろしくお願いします。
はい。よろしくお願いします。
But first, Kozuka-san needs to see how well they played the Gagaku instruments, as the tempo and style of the Tarian Asyik is not an easy feat.
練習だから3-1-2-3-1-2 って吹きますか?
However, the main challenge in playing the Tarian Asyik with Gagaku instruments is the pace of the music. Kozuka-san plays a recording of his practice sessions with the Malay Tarian Asyik musicians in Kelantan.
雅楽の方のがゆったりとした感じが全然するよね。だから七力吹いてて忙しいんだこれ。ですごく吹きづらいの。指使いとかそういうのもやっぱり雅楽のあれとはちょっと違うんだよね。
It is now up to Sayaka Higuchi, the Hichiriki flute player, to take up the challenge to play the Hichiriki to a tune that is about 10 times faster than the one she's accustomed to.
いや、ちょっといつも吹いてるのとは違う感じですけど、まあね、楽しそうなので頑張ります。
Gagaku musical instruments consist of some very sophisticated pieces. Intricate and traditional in design, the Gagaku instruments retails for thousands of dollars. To avoid ferrying these pieces, the Gagaku club must travel to Omuro Takao Shrine for a full rehearsal to take place.
日光に行けたら行った方がいいですよね。
できればね。
そうですよね。ちょっと土日に多分なってしまうと思うんですけど。平気です。
The day before Arai-san's dance recital, Pak Din arranges for a special full-dress rehearsal in the former royal palace of Sultan Muhammad II. This is to assist Arai-san on his challenging mission to learn the court dance.
Saya merasa seperti saya menjadi seorang penari pada zaman silam. Saya sangat gembira kerana menari dengan penari-penari di sini dan juga saya menari dengan live music.
The Japanese are known for their hospitality. After a full day's rehearsal, Arai-san shares some Japanese desserts with his new Malaysian friends. Fortunately, Arai-san's full dress rehearsal in Kelantan was a complete success. Back in Japan, at the Omuro Takao Shrine, Kozuka-san and the Utsunomiya Gagaku Club prepare for their first rehearsal. Kozuka-san has arranged for a special Gagaku recital, and the encore will be the performance of the Tarian Asyik. But to get the ball rolling, they first start rehearsing the opening act of the recital, the Eten Raku. Midway through the rehearsal, Kozuka-san needs to attend to his duties as chief priest. During Kozuka-san's brief stay in Kelantan, he has managed to transpose the notes of the surunai to the hichiriki flute. However, the tempo and ornamental section of the surunai proves to be impossible to perform on the hichiriki. So Kozuka-san makes an executive decision that during the special recital in Nikko, the ryuteki flute is more appropriate and will replace the hichiriki. It is a daunting task for the ryuteki player, Ryosuke Kokubun, but he is nonetheless game for the challenge. This is the first time the Gagaku Club will be playing with the full range of Gagaku instruments. In order to start the Gagaku Tarian Asyik rehearsal, Kozuka-san has to first train Chihiro Iwasaki to beat the kako drum. The kako drum will play the role of the two Malay drums used in the original Tarian Asyik.
まず楽器自体触れたのが初めてだったので、その打ち方の練習っていうのは結構ね、そこから始めた感じなんで、ちょっとそこは難しかったですかね。
It serves the purpose of accompanying the tempo played by the shoko gong. After a few tries, the percussion section is in place. Now, Kozuka-san presents Yuri Takeshi with koto picks. This will be the first time Takeshi-san uses the Yamada-style pick to play. The Japanese koto will take the place of the Malaysian chanang in the original Tarian Asyik. The koto will also provide the main melody for the Tarian Asyik Gagaku repertoire.
授業でその生田流のことは3回くらい教えてもらったんですけど、山田流に挑戦するのは初めて。
Kozuka-san and Utsunomiya Gagaku Club now play the melody and rhythm section of the Tarian Asyik for the first time. Kozuka-san then signals for Kokubun-san and Higuchi-san to join in with the ryuteki and hichiriki.
ああ、外すな。全然ダメだ。
右手すごくつく。
頑張ってね。
雅楽の楽器だけで演奏するのが初めてだったんで、向こうのスルナイっていう楽器の音色っていうのが向こうの音楽の雰囲気をすごく出してるんで、それが今回使われないで、演奏することに非常に心配な気持ちはありましたので、でもまあなんとかいけるかなという感じです。はい。
It's the night of the dance recital, and Arai-san's costume is ready. Professor Najib has created an outfit with Gagaku-inspired hakama pants to pair with a traditional Malay headdress known as babulan.
Yeah. May I now present Tarian Asyik.
それでは続きましてタリアンアシックを披露していただきます。よろしくお願いいたします。
Saya rasa satu pengembangan yang baik kepada industri seni budaya negeri Kelantan akan kembang. Saya harap seni budaya Tarian Asyik ini akan dikembangkan di seluruh Jepun.
With Pak Din's blessing, Arai-san returns to Tokyo, determined to make his dance master proud. For the performance in Nikko, Arai-san now needs to see if he can interpret the Gagaku Tarian Asyik music that will accompany him in the recital.
I feel very happy, and also I'm very proud of them. So because they just practice just a few weeks, I can dance with them. I think I can express the feeling of Asyik dance with their performance.
At the break of dawn, Arai-san makes his way to Omuro Takao Shrine to meet Kozuka-san. It's the day of Arai-san's Tarian Asyik Gagaku debut in Nikko. In a few hours, the Tarian Asyik Gagaku debut will take place at the Nikko City Central Community Hall.
学生さんたちも気合が入ってますからいい演奏できると思います。はい。お任せします。
精一杯やりたいです。今緊張しているんですけど、はい、いい演奏ができるように頑張ります。
こっちは言うと大変。いや広げ一回もう上に上げて。あれ入んないそれ。
この時もこういう
As the hour closes in, the team of Gagaku players makes their final preparations, while Arai-san gets ready to look the part.
女性の踊りっていうのもありますし、衣装は男性用に今できてるんですけども、やっぱりちょっと中性的なイメージもあるもんですから、あんまりひげはね合わないかなと思って、それでひげを切りました。
皆さんこんにちは。ただいまより雅楽の演奏とマレーシア舞踊の演奏会というものを始めさせていただきます。2日間向こうの先生方にもご指導をいただきまして、なんとかレッスンを受けていきました。マレーシアに伝わる宮廷音楽のタリアンアシックを演奏して
なかなかあんまり接する機会がやっぱり雅楽もないんで、こういう機会がないとやっぱり全然分からなかったんで。
人結構合いますよね。足した楽器でした。前でした。ありがとうございました。
マレーシアの方々にもなんとか見ていただくことができたかなと。また新井さんの踊りの妨げにならないようになんとか演奏させていただきました。ありがとうございます。
jiwa Gagaku dan dengan jiwa musik asyik. Ini pengalaman sangat menarik.